So morning yogis, lovely yin practice this morning. So start where you want to. Lying down on the mat, seated, just make sure that you're nice and warm. The beauty of yin and not needing a grippy mat is that you can keep your socks on and warm things on when we practice, holding the poses for a while. Just as we centre ourselves, root yourself down, tailbone or feet, or however you like to visualise this. And let's just take a few moments to breathe into this present moment. The practice that we have together for this hour may be the only time that you're really conscious of your breath today. I certainly find that myself at times, that it's only when I'm on my mat practicing that I'm really in tune with everything that's going on. As soon as I step off and life takes over, everything goes back onto autopilot, unless I consciously come back to the breath, the moment. So as you sit here, notice the smells around you. What's your immediate recognition? And just notice the most distant sound you can hear. And perhaps the nearest sound that comes to mind, you notice. Take a moment to observe how, whatever you feel in your mouth, what you taste. And depending on whether you have any skin exposed, what temperature do you feel on your skin? Or what sensation do you feel of your clothes against your body? And feeling the clothes move against you as you breathe. It doesn't take a moment, just tuning into the 5 senses. All the 4 senses if you have your eyes closed, just to bring you into the now. And perhaps just for the next 2 or 3 breaths, really follow them fully and consciously. Notice if you are breathing deeply or whether really only 3/4 of a breath before you exhale. No judgment, just examining how it feels to breathe. So those of you that are lying down, just have a moment to hug in. We're going to come to seated for Zazen meditation. Just take a moment to rock on your back, and if you're seated already and you just want to gently sway the body or move anything, please do. While we sit for a few minutes, if you wish to pop something around your shoulders to keep warmer, then that's always nice, and it can feel quite comforting as well. It's nice to have little rituals for your meditation. Today I'm going to give you yogi's choice for the next 5 minutes of quiet meditation. If you have a favourite mantra and you'd like to repeat that in your mind, or you'd like to do mindfulness of breath, where we have the 4 stages of following the breath, by all means choosing that. Today I'm just going to sit with myself and just simply be aware of the breath and aware of everything that's around me. And if my mind wanders off onto half a dozen tangents, then so be it. And then just every now and then I'll direct you and bring you back to the now. Just a little nudge, because it's very natural to drift off. But there are so many different ways we usually meditate, and I think it's nice to actually choose one you like, the one that resonates most with you, and practice that one today. So I'm going to put the timer on for 5 minutes. Just become comfortable and relaxed. As always, soften the face, the shoulders, the spine. Hands rested. And in whatever way you want to sit for 5 minutes, just take this time now. Just staying present. Being in the present moment. Staying present. Let's just take a few more conscious breaths. And gently blinking eyes open. That's just 5 minutes of sitting with yourself in whatever meditation style you chose. For me, I really enjoyed that, just sitting there, just breathing, aware of my thoughts. And what came to mind to me as a distinction between the mind wandering off was that when I did have thoughts, I was the thinker of those thoughts rather than the thoughts thinking me unconsciously. So I was aware of breathing, I was aware of every thought, I was aware of the whole thing, which is a really nice place to be in, because we're never going to stop the mind thinking. It's the nature of it. It's just who's in the driving seat of that practice. So hopefully you enjoyed whatever you chose this morning. I'm leaning a lot more towards just sitting in the silence and the present, I must admit. Coming off cushions, we're going to take turtle. So a compressive pose, and if you need to be very kind to your knees today, pop something underneath them or behind them. Tops of the feet sometimes need a little bit of support. And if you want to begin with a little kind of cushion under the belly to sort of soften the pose forward, then you can. And often a block is handy to start with while we kind of melt into this very, very sort of, well, it is a compressive pose. I'm going to start with a block. And then just resting hands behind to the feet. Child's pose, essentially. If this doesn't suit anybody, please choose another pose or just adapting this in some way. Sometimes you might take a few minutes here and it's okay, but if anything starts to get aggravated and painful, always please come out. You never have to hold poses as long as we do. Really listen to your own body. So as we settle into this pose, relaxing shoulders and neck. Notice if your abdominal muscles and the front of your body is tight. As you breathe, notice if you can gently let go of that tightness in the belly. How does this pose feel to you? Is it too claustrophobic today? Or does it feel really nurturing and safe? Relaxing your arms and shoulders even more as we progress. And keep noticing if your belly
and abdomen become tight and tense. And so we'll take a few more deep breaths here. When you're ready, just bringing the hands either side the head and slowly lifting where we've had the head very low. Just notice how that feels to bring the head up so we don't get any dizziness. So we did about 4 minutes in that one. It is a real deep compression. As you come out, just really enjoy how it feels for all the fluids through your body to start moving again through your legs. That's a really nice stretch for your back, really good for your urinary bladder meridian, and also the stomach channel, where we're leaning on the shins and lower legs. That stimulates that area. As you lie here, just aware of where you're feeling chi moving, temperature changes, tingling. Nice deep breaths. And even as you settle here, really notice if your spine is relaxed or whether there's still a little bit of tension that you're holding. Feeling safe enough to let everything soften. Perhaps still feeling a little bit of tingling around the feet. Coolness in the inner legs. And so we'll draw our knees in and have a little moment for a hug. Massage the spine. And then coming up for dragonfly. Extending legs out wide. Lovely one for liver, spleen, kidneys. So just getting comfortable. If you need something soft under your knees, please do that. Small rolled towel or something is quite comfortable. Otherwise, we'll just explore this pose. Let's just lean into this. And I always find this a lovely pose to acknowledge where you begin. And then after 5 minutes, where we have softened and melted a little bit more and ended the posture. This is one I find that really can develop. Try and relax your legs. Notice if there's tension in your feet and ankles. And then gradually we can stretch through the back and relax the head and neck. Notice what you're feeling, where you're feeling it. Is there a subtle difference between the stretch between the left and right leg? A lot of people have slight differences. You might find the stretch feels deeper on one side. And following your breath into the belly, up into the chest. Keep relaxing calves and around the knees and ankles if there's a tendency to tighten up here. And is there an opportunity to move a little further into this pose? Has the body softened enough to lean more in? Keep relaxing any tension that you find. And aware of your breath. And again, observe if there's any more little bit of movement. And let's take one lovely long conscious breath. Deep inhale, nice slow exhale. And then gently, in your own time, just walking hands back towards the body, lifting up. And again, whatever you feel through your back, and then we move the legs. Slow motion, just absorb and take in everything that you're feeling. The release through the stretch on the inner legs as we just come back into neutral. And just roll your body out. And as you come down to the mat, take a deep breath. Sigh. And then on that exhale, take the opportunity to let everything soften. Notice if you're keeping a structure through your back and spine, whether that can relax. What do you notice? Where do you notice it? Physically? What do you notice emotionally within? Are there any colours that you see in your mind with your eyes closed? And if there are, which chakra does it relate to? Is there a message in there? Take a few more moments just to notice if you're fully relaxed. Let the back soften. And then we'll draw the right knee and left knee in. We're going to come into heart bench. So you're going to need a couple of blocks. enjoy this nice little roll around, whatever your spine needs, because before we come into this heart bench where we target and focus on the thoracic part of our spine. There's no hurry, there's no rush, just whatever you need to do. So grabbing 2 blocks, one long ways that aligns along your spine behind heart center, and one on the top level just to rest the back of the head. And in your own time, just finding where you want to place this block. It always takes me a few goes to find today where it needs to be. Sometimes it's slightly different days. And it always feels a bit hard and uncomfortable to begin with, but it does, amazingly, it really does soften once you're here. And then just the back of the head rests on this top block. Sometimes you may find, certainly what I find is that when I've got a lot of tension in that upper back between the shoulder blades, which a lot of us do hold because we hunched forward a bit and lean forward over devices, coming into this pose and feeling that sort of hard pressure against the back, it's almost like kind of somebody giving you a little massage or a push on that one area that really needs it. It's strangely comfortable afterwards. So relaxing your buttocks, legs, and just enjoying the breath here and the movement of the body. In this position where the front of the body is open, it lends itself to us feeling really open and in control of the breath, as opposed to a pose where we're folded forward. Keep relaxing the lower back and pelvis. Back of the neck, if your chin is lifted, maybe just let it drop a bit and you can feel that stretch through the neck. Do you notice if it feels easier to breathe into the lungs? And is the pose becoming more acceptable now? Notice if there's any tension in your legs. And actually, this pose is quite a lovely pose to lend itself to Ujjayi breath, where we tuck the chin in. And we come into that kind of snore breath like Darth Vader.
Not only does this target our heart energy, but throat as well. We'll take one more deep breath now. And ever so slowly, using your forearms, lift your head first, then support the body coming up. A little bit of engagement needed in the belly just to lift, and then pop in. Blocks to the side, just gently roll down. It's always in that last few minutes that pose becomes quite, you forget that the blocks are there a little bit. Take a nice deep breath, enjoy the exhale, and let everything soften as you do. And just tuning into the spine and perhaps the lower back. How different does it feel, this after effect from Dragonfly, where we were bringing the body forwards? It's always curious, the different sensations the back feels after different poses. And again, just being in this moment. And when you're ready, we'll hug knees in again. Having moved the spine forwards and backwards, it's quite nice to come into a twist. So we're going to do cat's tail today. Have a moment just to enjoy this massage of the back of your body. So I'm going to use a pillow. It is always handier to have a pillow for this one, I think. So begin to lie on your right hand side and just have that pillow up sort of around the head area so you can rest on it. Lie on the right. Bring your left knee over. Knee is going to be in alignment with your hip, and then the lower part of your left leg can just be parallel to your right leg. A bit like recovery position. And then as you start, you can rest the head on your upper arm. If you can grab your foot with your left hand, your right foot in your left hand, then great. And then just gently rolling that left shoulder back. If you haven't got a cushion, then use your hand to cradle your head and your neck so that your neck isn't tense. But if you've got a pillow, it's ideal just to let yourself relax. Arm can then go wherever it wants to go. We're just coming into a twist to whatever degree you want to here. If you can't grab your lower foot, it doesn't matter. It's just a part of the pose. But if you can't, it's fine. Let the leg rest down on the mat. You're still getting into a twist by rolling the shoulder back. So relax here. Try to release your buttocks. If you're holding the buttocks tight and tense, let go. That lets go through the lower back. This does, if you're holding your foot, encourage a nice stretch through your right quad muscle and knee. But even here, using a pillow, there's still a tendency to perhaps hold tension in the neck. So just keep an eye on letting that go. And then when you feel like you're relaxed and found your pose, just breathe consciously into the belly and the chest. And following the movement of the body. Relaxing buttocks, back and neck. If at any time you need to come out of the pose, please do. Lovely deep breaths. Noticing if you like this pose today, or if it's aggravating or it doesn't feel right emotionally. Just being aware of whatever comes up. Twists very much targets the solar plexus, which is linked with our ego and our self-worth, confidence. So when you're ready, we'll just release the foot that we're holding. If you are, roll up and then roll back onto your back into neutral. And just have a few moments, let everything realign, reset through the spine. As you breathe here and just settle, where are you feeling it most? Left, right, and what parts of the left and right side of the body? Where do you feel it on the front of your body, in the belly area? So wonderful to practice this yin style because it makes you become very, very aware and conscious of your body and your feelings and your thoughts, the slowness, the stillness and silence. It creates space for you. Let's draw the knees in. Again, nice little rock. And then we'll come into the other side with cat's tails. So I'm going to swing to the other side, bring the cushion over, lying on the left side now. So having that pillow near to the head, bringing the right knee up and in front, again in alignment with the hip, legs can remain parallel. And in either cradling your head if you haven't got a cushion, but if you have, just get yourself into position first. It always maybe takes a few moments, but grab your foot, right hand, left foot, if you can. And just take a moment to, it's better to have a little fidget first and come into the pose, and then you can really let go and relax. Nice deep breath, lovely sigh, and we soften. How does this feel? Is it exactly the same but the other side, or are you feeling completely different sensations? Remember to try and relax your buttocks and legs, lower back and belly. Relaxing the head as well, head and neck, always so tense. And then you can just enjoy the very gentle breath, the ebb and flow. Keep looking for the tension. It always creeps back in, amazingly. Is your head as relaxed as it can be? Is your neck supported? Use your hand if you want to support even more. Do you notice a lovely stretch down the right side of your neck, coming over the top of your shoulder? Can you feel the muscles around the upper mid-spine? How do you feel around your hips? Are your fingers relaxed? Is your forehead relaxed and smooth, or are we frowning? Just little things throughout our body. And just as we come towards the end of this twist, let's just take a few breaths where we're conscious of the flow. Into the belly, up into the chest. And then gently release, holding your foot if you were holding it. And nice and slowly work your way back into neutral pose. And we'll just take this time to unwind, observe what we feel. Relax the arms and hands, take them further away from the body if you need to. Just letting the sensations fade away. Let's hug in.
And we're going to come into waterfall. Nice gentle inversion just to finish. Enjoy a nice little rock first. So the spine has come forward, backwards, lovely twist. And then if you have a pillow or a moon cushion, meditation cushion, I just like to gently sort of roll up the lower spine and buttocks and take the feet into the air. We'll have a few minutes here. If you've got a blanket and you want to throw it over the top of your feet to create a lovely kind of waterfall effect, please do. That's always really comforting. And if you have a big enough blanket that you can hide under and make almost like a tent, then that can be fun and playful too. You can have a lovely bend into the legs. You know, it doesn't have to be straight, just raising the legs. And relax. Tune into the whole of your body. Do you need to relax your arms more and shoulders? Gently tilt the chin in, lengthen the neck. Try and relax your face, any tightness around the eyes or the cheeks. And drawing your awareness to your breath in the belly and the chest. Just notice your breath right now. Is it lovely and easy? Nice little ebb and flow. Just enjoy for a few moments following that lovely conscious breath. I know we yogis talk about the breath so much, but it is our life force. And it is what connects us to the present moment. So one more breath. Gently lower the feet. Pull out any cushion that you were using gently, just pop it aside. Have a moment just to lie neutral, just a few breaths before we relax, just so that we can observe the after effects of that pose. Deep inhale, nice slow exhale. Where are you? Just noticing where you are in your mind. Whether you're quite comfortable and happy with your body. And just taking note of where you feel spiritually. And then those of you that want to sit, you can just come up. Coming onto your cushions again, if you wish. And if you have a little blanket, pop it around your shoulders.
Just get comfy. I'm just going to give you the space and time now just to be with yourself. No story, no meditation, no direction. Perhaps just be in the present moment in whatever way you can with your breath. Notice if you are the thinker or the thoughts are thinking you. Just gently notice if you are fully relaxed. Is there any muscle in the body that's tense? Just take a little scan through. Sometimes we feel relaxed, but we'll find something that's just still activated and tense. Just let go. Come back to a few breaths, being conscious, and just notice what thoughts you're thinking. And then when you're ready, those of you lying down, just hug in. Take a moment just to rock on your spine and enjoy. And if you're already seated and you just want to gently move, please do. And then coming up to seated, when you're ready, have a moment just to ground down again. Bringing hands to heart. Om Shanti.
Namaste.